People are okay, great. Hi, everyone on YouTube. Hi on Facebook. Hi on LinkedIn. It's great to be here today. Thank you all so much for joining on all the different platforms where you're watching us from. My name is Just Amama Ibe, and I am the lead consultant at the Just Ibe Company. The Just Ibe Company is a management consulting firm out of Lagos, Nigeria. Nigeria is in West Africa. And so, wherever you are joining from, feel free to let us know in the comment section so we can say a proper hello to you, preferably in your local dialect. But how be it, feel free to please share this live stream with as many people as possible. So if you're on YouTube, Facebook, on LinkedIn, there usually is a share button from wherever you're watching from. Feel free to click those buttons and share. If you are on Instagram, it's the same thing. Share with as many people as possible as we introduce a framework that I believe startup entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs can leverage to smash their revenue as far as Q2 and, of course, the rest of the year is concerned. Thank you, everyone who's joined so far. And so, without further ado, we'll go straight into today's conversation. And today's conversation is centered around leveraging the SMS formula strategy to smash your Q2 revenue target. And like I said, it doesn't matter where you are joining from. Please just feel free to share with as many people as possible because we want so many entrepreneurs to have, access to what it is we're teaching here today. Before I go straight into the conversation, I'm going to talk about what the SMS formula represents so that every one of us can have an understanding of where this is coming from and where it is leading us to as a people, whether you're a startup business owner or you're a budding entrepreneur. The social media sellout formula is a system I designed to help businesses understand and master how to use social media for sales. We are on social media for so many reasons. Some is socialization, like the name implies, but for others, it's actually to be able to do business. So I created this framework so that if you are looking to master and understand how to use social media for sales, then this is the a framework you need to be able to crack it. Because let's face it, a lot of times when you are on any social media platform, what you attract to yourself is a function of your understanding of the people, the platform, your product, and their problems. Let me say that again. When you are on any platform, any social media platform, the degree with which you maximize that platform vis-a-vis attract revenue on that platform is a function of how you understand the platform, the people, your solution, their problems. The platform, the people, your solution, their problems. So once these four things are mastered, you are able to be able to get the best from that platform as far as revenue is concerned, if revenue is your goal. But for the benefit of today's class, we're focusing on revenue, so we may not necessarily talk about all the other anchors that people stay on social media for. So if smashing a revenue target is your goal, it's important that you understand the people, the platform, your solution, their problems. And so for those who are existing business owners, who are not new business owners, I created this framework to be able to help them reassess all their activities and identify what is a leakage in their business so that they can block it. And I'm going to attempt to explain this part. Every time you think you are doing something right and you're expecting a different result, but you're not getting it, it's important to go back and reassess. What am I doing that is causing a leakage? With the the social media sellout framework, what it will do for you as an existing business owner is help you reaccess all the different activities you are doing so that you are certain that this particular activity is not the one losing me money. If it is, I'm going to have to block it or go back to the drawing table to be able to replace it with a new set of activities that delivers for me the numbers I'm looking to achieve. So I just gave you a brief definition of what the SMS formula is and why I created it for startup entrepreneurs and for existing business owners. So, what categories of persons need to pay attention to this social media formula? It's important that I iterate it so that once you are here or once you see it, you're able to connect and say, I have been looking for this solution, right? Number one, category of persons who don't like convincing people to buy. I am one of those one of those business owners who don't like to convince people to buy. I necessarily may not come into your DM or come into your email trying to convince you why haven't you taken this. I literally don't like to do that as a business owner. So there are lots of business owners like me who don't like to try and convince people to come and buy their product because they feel like, why do I need to beg you when you actually see value? Do you see what I'm saying? Now, convincing people, aka trying to follow up repeatedly on people, is necessary for closing, but there is a systemic way to handle it. If not, you seem beggarly. There's a difference between consistently following up on customers for closing sales and seeming beggarly. So for business owners like me who don't necessarily need to try, I don't like to convince people to buy, it's important that there's a framework that positions you to be able to attract the people you want to do business with. And that's why those who are in this category of persons are people who need the social media seller framework, because it will teach you the A to Z of positioning that brings in the people you want to do business with. The second set of persons who need to pay attention to the social media seller framework is people who are overwhelmed with many trainings and they're like, I have done this, I have done that, I have done that, nothing seems to be working. You know, as a business owner, sometimes you get to that stage of constipation where you feel like I have taken so much, but nothing seems to be moving. Those sets of business owners are the ones who would benefit from the social media seller formula. You know why? Because the lessons in the social media formula, they are bite size. They are short. They are not those long ones that you take for 2 hours and you are wondering, what am I listening to? What is the value here? With the social media seller formula, each lesson is about 20 minutes. So you can take it bite size and you find action points that you can action immediately and get results. So for those who feel like I have taken so much trainings, I'm constipated, I don't know where else to go, this is the framework you need because it is bite-sized, it's straight to the point, it delivers for you the answers you are looking for in step by step. Do it this way, do it this way. Do you see this? The third categories of persons are people who believe that they don't have a lot of followers and they're like, so I'm not like that influencer that has 50,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 10,000 followers. I have my 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. How am I going to make it work? If you are in that category of persons, you need to pay attention also to this framework that we're going to be sharing today, because it would help you show how you can use what you have to get what you need. A lot of times, social media may seem like people who have 1 million followers seem to be doing more. But guess what? The rule of engagement and building a community is how well you're able to nurture even your 1,000 organic followers to become loyal followers. Loyal followers who will turn into consumers, who will turn into customers. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's an art to actually nurturing what you think you don't have to help you produce what you need. So moving on very quickly, the fourth category of persons who need to pay attention to the social media seller framework are people who are frustrated with algorithm. People who feel like this algorithm is not doing us any good. It's not helping us deliver on the numbers. It's not helping us bring in customers. There is an art and science to be able to stay on top of it. As we go further down into today's conversation, we're going to be touching on some key things. But before we go into those key things, I want to quickly highlight a couple of things that we must pay attention to as far as doing business on social media is concerned. The title of this course is the Social Media Sellout Formula. Basically, what it does is go through specific pillars that you must check if you truly want to be profitable or make money on social media. Meaning that if you want to build a house, you must sit down and calculate what is it going to cost me to build this house. In comparing that with trying to make money on social media, if you want to make money on social media, you need to sit down and calculate what are the indices that I must check to be able to say I am positioned to attract the people who will pay me money. That's what the Social Media Sellout Formula program is going to do for you as a business owner. And so very quickly, I'm going to talk about some key indices in the social media sellout framework so that you too can begin to leverage those indices and go back to the drawing board to say, in all these indices I have learned today, how am I practicing it or executing it in my business to be able to deliver value? Okay, so moving on. The first thing we're going to talk about here is content. I talked about it earlier, algorithm. So many people are frustrated with the algorithm. But you see, with algorithm, one of the things that remain constant is that Social media, no matter how much they try to make people not see you or lose followers, like the plenty of things that we hear going on these days, what is important is that there are specific methods of creating content that will never go out of vogue, because we live in a system where people are looking for how to get information, whether it's information on entertainment, information on politics, governance, and all the different areas of information that they're looking for. So people will always be on the lookout to hear or to watch. Let me say that again. People will always be on the lookout to hear or to watch. That means that if you want to be able to leverage the social media sellout framework system, your content pillars must be so on point. Your content pillars must be checked, meaning that you must be able to have a strategic content pillar that takes your audience from they have a problem to I am the one for the solution, I am the one for you, and when you are done with what I have for you, you will get this level of results. Your content pillar must tell that before they come to you as a person to have a conversation. Meaning that if I go through the contents on your page on a daily basis, week on week, month on month, I should be able to see progressively this is where you are leading me to if I consistently follow you. You see, running a business that brings in money is like starting a company where you are looking for loyal employees. Let me say that again. Running a business that brings you sales, especially leveraging social media, is like building a company where you are looking for loyal employees. Every time you want a loyal employee, the loyal employees must look at you, the business owner, and must be able to understand your vision, understand their place in your vision, and understand where you are going to. Let me say that again. Every time employees are choosing whether they're going to be loyal to a business owner or not, they must first understand your vision. They must see themselves in that vision, and they must understand where you are going and how that ties to where they are going. Your ability as an entrepreneur to sell that vision to the people who work with you is tantamount to whether you would have loyal sets of employees who would stay and build with you. So this is hashtag one of the major causes of attrition, because most times there's a dichotomy between where employees want to go and where you are going, or they don't even see how they fit into this entire vision. They're probably just using it as a means to an end. And after a while, people who are going somewhere with themselves will not want to stay, because they're like, I need to be in alignment as far as where I'm going with my vision. So that's that. Now, comparing that with making money on social media. Every time a customer comes to your social media page and they do not see how what you are saying connects to what they are looking for and where they are going, they don't give you money. Let me say it again. Every time a customer comes to your page and they do not see how what you are doing is connected to something they are looking to solve or where they are going, they don't feel they need to stay, let alone give you their money. So you must first, with your content pillar, be able to help them feel like this person is going to help me solve my problem. What do you then do to create a content pillar that works? The first thing to begin to pay attention to is to say, what is the customer that I'm trying to serve? What is their life like? Meaning, what are the things, so to speak, that will prevent them from taking action on the content that I'm creating? It's not enough to say, what's the ideal customer avatar and all those things. You have to pay attention to the distractions that makes the customer not even take advantage of what you call free content that you're giving out. Number one, could it be that they are spoiled with choice, right? We live in a world right now where if you go through social media, the first 10 posts you would see, there are different kinds of content. Your customers may be purged with information. So if you identify that as a distraction, it means that you need to look for a systemic way to be able to create the kind of content that they would feel like this is not amongst all of the people in the pack, this is exclusive. It may be that you may bring a part of your personality to play that jumps at the customer, that every time they see, they're like, okay, this is for me. It may be an energy level, it may be a systemic way of creating content, maybe like videos, it may be a particular tagline that makes them feel like, okay, this person is here, or a particular kind of behavior that makes them feel like, hey, this person is here. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to create that for you that first of all seems the that's the first thing. The next thing is to say, in the entire solution your customer is looking for, can you break it down into bits and pieces and take them through a journey as far as the solution is concerned? So let me give you a typical example. If you are in the cosmetic space and you're trying to help a person who has scars acne and all of those things on their body, clear their face with a product that you have, say a cosmetic product. If you're new or you're bored and you're trying to get people to pay attention to you, you're not just going to come on their face and say, come and buy this cream, it's going to clear your pimples. You're going to first take them on a journey of why they even need to pay attention by exposing to them activities that they are doing that's making them break out. Do you see? So your content pillar we have, these are the two things to avoid if you don't want big pimples to keep coming on your face. And you could do it like, an animation, or you could do it like a smiley kind of video, or those sort of interactive videos that people will stop in their track and like, okay, I need to pay attention to this. It could be those sort of reels videos that have things popping up like this, and people are looking at it. You don't want acne anymore. You could do that, acne, and then all of a sudden you start showing them all the different things not to do. So that's framework. That's content one on the calendar. You begin to move into the kinds of routines they must put in place. Do you see? Routines to put in place to make sure that all the different things that you're trying to show them causes it don't actually affect them. So maybe you're talking about oil, you're talking about makeup. You begin to show them how to remove oil, how to dehydrate if there's anything like that, how exfoliate, how to wash off makeup. You begin to teach them these things systemically, and then every time you do that, make sure that you're creating call to actions that make them want to share this with as many people as possible. And as you progress, you begin to introduce gradually what it is that you have for them. Every time you create content and you want your customers to relate with it, at the end of the content, link what you have created to what they're struggling with. Let me say that one again. This is always a hit back to back. Every time you create content and you're wanting people to engage with that content, at the end of the content or in between the content, always link what you're saying to the problem that they have. So, good morning. So, people how to make sure they don't break out, using different kinds of cosmetic products. And you're teaching them every time you use your makeup brush on your face and you rub it in a circular way, this is what happens. I'm just giving an example. I'm not sure what the details are, right? And you finish explaining that. You then go further to say, this is the reason why you are actually breaking out, because you are using that brush in this particular circular motion and is opening your pores and causing this reaction. Do you see what I'm saying? So you are teaching in the content, but you are linking each of the teaching points to the problem the customer is having. That way, as they're reading it, they're not reading it because they're reading an information. They're reading it as something is triggered in their mind and like, okay, so this is why I'm breaking out. Immediately, what they do is they take note and say, this page has taught me something new. Every time somebody feels like they have learned something new from your business page, they will come back again and again and again. And that's how you build loyal followers who eventually turn into customers. So having said all of this, if you are doing it in between the content or you're doing it at the end of the content, figure out what part of the content works for you. But always make sure you don't just give blanket information without linking that information to how it affects what they are going through now, or how it points to what they are going through now. Meaning you are giving a diagnosis and you are comparing the diagnosis with the symptoms the customer has. That's how to create content. If you don't take anything out of here today, take this one. You create content as though you are giving diagnosis in comparison to the symptoms the person has. So the way a doctor will say, you go to a doctor and you tell the doctor, I feel like I have malaria, right? And the doctor is trying to give you a diagnosis by saying, okay, no, you're saying, you went to the doctor and you say, I'm not feeling well. The doctor will say, okay, I suspect it's malaria. But before I conclude, I would ask you a few questions, or I will explain some few things, and then we'll take it from there. And then he goes, are you having headache that makes you feel like your eyes are heavy and da, right? He's explaining, and the person's like, yes, I'm having that headache. Do you see? That's content. The person teaching and the person reading, there's a corroboration between what you say is what it is your symptom, and what is what you say is the content, and what I say is the symptom. And then he goes further to say, you eat, you feel like throwing up. She's like, yes, I feel that. All your joints are aching you. Yes, I feel that. Then it must be malaria. In order for you to cure the malaria, do this. Do you see? So it's the doctor's strategy as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, that your content, you at every point in time, you are corroborating with the person who is reading it, and they feel like, aha, this is what I need. So if you take nothing out of here today, take this particular one and implement it immediately in your business, you would see massive results because you would improve the engagement, you improve the people who are following you, and then as you progress, it will begin to turn into numbers in your bank account. So now that is content. Like I said, I'm talking about just a few pillars in the social media seller framework so that as many people who are listening will be able to have a hang of what the social media seller framework does for businesses. We have talked about the content bits, and if you are just joining, please make sure to catch the replay because we've talked about a lot of things that you must pay attention to. The next thing is how to create offers. When you want to sell a product, you must be creating offers. Selling a product is not going to bring in money if it's not an offer. Customers are not necessarily looking to buy products, they are looking to buy a solution to a problem that they have. And solutions to problems come in form of products or services, but they are easily distilled and bought in offers. Meaning, an offer is almost like when you hear things like um, uh, an offer is always something like this. I'm looking for what is not necessarily a promo, but it's an offer, right? Are you tired of taking slim tea and it's not making you lose weight? Come on and let me show you what you will do right now, and in 3 weeks you will lose that belly fat, right? So at this point, the person is not selling their waist trainer. They are not selling their tea. They are telling you that if you come in 3 weeks, they'll give you something that will help you lose the belly fat. That's an offer. The offer may not necessarily talk about the product. The offer is going to talk about what's the outcome the customer is looking to get. And then when they come in to get the outcome, you introduce them to the product. Now, with the social media seller formula framework, you are going to learn the A to Z of how to create compelling offers. Compelling offers. Because the difference between whether you make money or not is a degree of how good your offers are. Let me say that again. The degree of money you make as a business owner is a function of how great your offers are, how irresistible your offers are as far as your customers are concerned. So it always has to be about a result they are looking to get that you carry, right? But you're not positioning it as a product, because most times you want to sell a product, the customer already has the kind of product they used to buy in the past. Yes, they may be looking for a new kind of product to supplement what they are, to replace what they are used to buying, but they don't know you enough to want to give you their money. So if you are talking about the product when they don't know you enough, it's already a miss. Because they're like, I don't know you. What makes me think I can believe the product that you're saying? What if you're lying to me? The only way you can be believable if you talk about the offer, meaning something they are looking to achieve, and then when they come in, they can now see the product or the service that will deliver to them the results they are looking to achieve. So the A to Z of creating an entire and a compelling offer is in the social media sellout framework. Moving on very quickly because we have less than 6 minutes to round up today's class. I'm going to take a few questions. If you know you have questions, begin to drop them because we're rounding this up in exactly 6 minutes. So moving on very quickly to the next pillar on the social media seller formula program. How do you build credibility? Because it is no longer news that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And if you are new or you are boarding and you don't have a lot of followers, you're not an influencer yet, how do you create credibility? Because people want to be sure that they trust you or they believe you can give them results before they want to buy into the products or the services that you offer. In order to create credibility, one of the things that is very important for us to do is do a lot of videos. Do a lot of videos. By listening to a person, you can tell whether they know what they are doing or they're just trying to take your money. So one of the shortest cuts to building credibility is to consistently do videos that showcase who you are, what you do, what you're there to do for your customers. Who you are, what you do, what you're there to do for your customers. The customers who are watching will recognize that this person is not ashamed to come on live and talk about what it is that they do for us because they believe enough in what they do and they believe enough in the solution that they are bringing to the table. So that's one of the fastest way to build credibility. By doing what? By shooting videos consistently, whether they are pre-recorded videos, whether they are live videos. videos in a very quick way has a way of establishing your credibility. I remember when I started my business as an entrepreneur on social media, in less than 6 months, I had gotten to the top of my industry, like top 15 in my industry, in less than 6 months. In less than 6 months. People say it takes so many. No, it depends on if you understand this game of credibility. And that's what I'm teaching you here today. You're also going to get a lot more in the social media sellout formula. In 6 months, everybody knew me in my industry, top 15. They began to call me into different functions as far as my industry was concerned. What did I do differently? I hit videos with everything I got. I was explaining back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back, teaching people different sorts of things via videos. And all of a sudden, even if I did not have followers at the time, because of course, just like most of you, I started with 0 followers. But as I consistently began to show up with videos and teaching and, giving all manner of value, especially with videos recorded and live, people began to gravitate. People began to gravitate. People began to gravitate. And before you know it, in 6 months, I was all over the place in that industry. The same thing should be you. The difference is that most times you feel like, who is going to pay attention to me? What do I know? Am I smart enough to be able to make a video? All of those things are in your head. They don't exist. Believe me. All of those things are in your head. They don't exist. Okay? Once you take the social media sellout formula program, it will begin to show you specifically what you must do to be able to quickly build credibility in that industry. Because guess what? The minute you begin to show up, all those who were there before, even they want to pay attention to you. It's not because they don't know it, it's because they're like, okay, this is like a fresh breath, this is like a breath of fresh air. There's something I love, they begin to see avenues with which they can even partner with you or collaborate with you, because every time people see somebody who is before a camera, they automatically assume that this person knows what they are doing. This person gives off vibe like they can solve people's problem, and then it begins to draw like minds to you. Right? And I know that some of you may start and you may be ashamed, you may be shy when you start, you may not have the confidence level when you start, but guess what? The key to getting better at anything is consistency. All you need to do is keep showing up and keep getting better at your craft. In fact, one of the best ways I used to rehearse when I started my videos is I would stand in front of my dressing mirror and I will just be rehearsing and doing videos and explaining and teaching. I would be imagining I was in front of a pulpit teaching people, or in front of a training teaching people. I will do that every time to hone my skills. So because I did that a lot behind the scenes, when I come in front of a camera, it looks like, oh, this person has been doing it all their lives. Guess what? There's a lot of constant practice behind the scene, because you recognize that it's the quickest way for you to build credibility. The next way to build credibility is to show to people the results that you have brought to the table. And I know that some of you may feel like, well, I'm new. I have never really gotten anything to the table as far as results is concerned. This is where I'm going to challenge you to do something different. When I started, my business at the time, I didn't have any testimonial. That was the first time I was going to go into the consulting industry. And I didn't have any formal student that I had trained that had results. Of course, before then, I had been doing it for free for all my friends, even my husband. People have business challenges, they just call me, and I always have the answers for them. I didn't even know it was a thing until later in life. So I had given out free plenty business ideas, plenty business advices, help people build their businesses all the way, but I didn't know it was a thing. And so when I started, it was important that I had to create, a pool of people who had gotten results from my own services, because I needed to build credibility. So what I did was try out with 20 new people, and I poured myself into them for free for 1 month. At the end of the 1 month, all manner of testimonials, literally. New businesses were born, new revenue numbers were hit, literally. For some people, the minute they action one thing, the next day they get the result. It was really literally. So when I got all of those things, what I did was I already had with doing that particular free service for 1 month, what I created was a compendium of results from people who had taken the program or my products or my services. And that, in a way, helped to build my credibility, because I now had proof of the work that I'm doing. So if you are in that place where you are trying to build credibility for your brand, aside from using videos and showing up repeatedly, it's important to find a group of persons who you want to pour into to be able to get results from what it is that you do, and then bring them out as the testimonial for your brand. And I know for some of you, maybe products. If it's products, you cannot necessarily afford to give out all your products for free. You're going to have to figure out how to strike a balance between a specific sets of people who are going to be like your test study group or your test group, like they always call it. And with those test group, you understand specifically what you're trying to harvest as testimonials from them, and then you're strategic about using those group of persons as your test group to be able to, develop feedback. I remember that one time a cake brand had done this with me. She had reached out to a couple of us and said she wanted to use us as her, test group, so to speak. She was trying to create new recipes and trying to see how the market will respond to it based on how we felt about the product. So she created some of us and then, baked some parts of her cakes, different kinds of recipes, small chunks, and sent to us so that from our tasting and giving her feedback, she'll be able to use it first to confirm if that product is a go, but secondly, to be able to say these are credible people with credible feedback as to the viability of this product and the efficacy of this product. With that, she was able to launch an entirely new range of products. And she's a baker, so you can imagine. And those range of products, she sold thousands and thousands of pieces because it now became almost like a household name just by leveraging this same thing I'm teaching you, credibility. And then moving on very quickly to the final part. We're already way behind time. We're supposed to stop at 10:30, but I'm going to use this as a closing. The final one is we're going to talk about brand positioning. I know we're supposed to talk about pricing, but we can't talk about pricing because our time is fast spent. How be it for everyone who is here today who wants to have access to the entire social media sellout formula blueprint. It is a 9-module program. I can't possibly teach you the 9 modules here. What I have done is taken 3 minutes from each of those modules and taught you today. And you can imagine with the amount of value you've gotten here, imagine what it will do for you if you take the 20 minutes each from each of those programs to be able to help you truly smash your Q2 revenue target. And so for those who are here today, for those on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, I'm going to create a special offer for those of us who are here today. You get it at a 50% discount today. I mean, for 48 hours, yes. 48 hours for those who are here, a 50% discount. Just send me a DM if you're on Instagram, and then send me an email if you are on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Just send me an email to ebayjust@gmail.com, or feel free to just send me a message how you got the invites to this particular broadcast, and I'll be able to respond to you. And with the message, just say, I want to claim the 50% discount for the social media sellout formula, right? I'll give you access to the entire program. And so finally, we are going to stop at talking about brand positioning. This is where I find that as new entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs, we must take very seriously the concept of brand positioning. Because we now live in a world where business owners are almost losing themselves because they're trying to build businesses. Meaning you are all over the place, torn in many directions because you're trying to build a business. You are chasing back to back people who you believe may give you money as far as products and services are concerned. That's not how to build anything that will last. Any business that you build that depends on you, right? That depends on you, having to be turned in different directions will die in your absence. So the most important thing to pay attention to as an entrepreneur, whether you just started today or you are a budding entrepreneur, is positioning. Positioning is such that as a business owner, people recognize that this is who you are, this is what you do, and you're credible enough for what you do, and they're able to meet you at that point. That means that you dedicate time to creating a track record that keeps you consistent in that industry, in that sector, such that when it's time for that solution, people can mention your name among the first 3. And I know that for some startup business owners and some budding entrepreneurs, you would say, how is that even possible? I work in an industry where I'm not even the top 50. How then will people recognize that the top 3 should come to me? In this brand positioning, there's a concept I teach called positioning narrow and reaching wide. It is all in the social media sellout formula. You have to get that program. You have to, because to transform your entire business. And thank you, Lillian, for sharing. She said, this SMS formula course is priceless, guys. You will thank me later. She's the best. She has taken the course, and so she's speaking from that place. The concept of positioning narrow and reaching wide is such that in every big industry or sector, right, you can pick a subsect for yourself, a niche inside a niche for yourself, and then you are positioned narrow. But after positioning narrow in that subsector or that sub niche, as you may want to call it, you reach wide. Meaning you do your marketing to a wide range of persons, but you are positioned narrow. Meaning that in an industry where it looks like everybody does A, B, C, D, E, F, C, G together as a wholesome product, as a startup entrepreneur, you may not start like that. You may pick one out of the many things that make that particular product wholesome and market the living daylight out of that one such that people know you for that one. And then after a while, you begin to add, you begin to add, you begin to add. But you see, the concept of positioning narrow is that you consistently over a period of time are known for a specific thing within a subsect that is not so large. That means you have narrowed it down so much. A typical example is, so I sell cosmetic products, okay, and I'm coming into the industry, and everybody who is everybody already has a cosmetic business, and I'm wondering, how am I going to scale, or how am I going to survive in this industry? How about you look inside that industry and begin to identify to say, what sects of persons within this industry feel like they're not getting enough attention? Or what sect of that market can I pick that is not so large, but is something enough that if I market wide, people will pay attention? So you can decide to say, I just want to focus on people who have black spots and acne. Focus and magnify. So beautiful. People who have black spots and acne. You're not interested in lighter skin, fairer this, fairer that. I just want to focus on acne and black spots, or blemishes and black spots, whatever you may call it. And you stay on that for a period of maybe 4 to 6 months, and you're talking about acne, 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 and people who are using your product, acne is disappearing like wildfire. And you know, obviously, that you have other products you want to sell. But for the benefit of positioning narrow and reaching wide, you stay on that one and magnify. After a while, when everybody now says, you want to do acne, you better go to that girl. You want to do acne, you better go to that girl. You want to do acne. Because you will notice that in your industry, nobody's really doing that. Everybody's positioning for the wide range of cosmetic products. And because you are new, people have not necessarily tested your product. It may be difficult for them to come and invest in a brand they don't know, and they don't know how it came about. But with your positioning narrow and reaching wide, after a while, people will be like, if it's pimples and acne you're looking for, just go to that person. She's tested, tried, and trusted. She will give you results. And the more people start saying, is this person for acne and black spots? Guess what? Before you know it, in that same industry, you'll spread. Because now that people have tested one, they see that it works, and everybody now knows you for that. At least you're beginning to build a name. You begin to have a name. All of a sudden, you begin to add other features, add other features, add other features. And the people who have tested and tried your product based on your positioning narrow and reaching wide will now begin to try your other products. Do you see how brand positioning is? And so when you start building a brand and it looks like there's so much I have going on in my life, which should I put first? As far as your business, focus on building one by positioning narrow and reaching wide. If you must build all the other ones concurrently, make sure that you know how to put systems and structures in place in a way that it will not interfere with the core message you're trying to distill. If you must do everything at the same time, make sure you understand how to put systems and structures in place in a way that it will not interfere with the core message you're trying to bring out part-time. I recognize that as you begin to grow, you begin to have many hats that you wear. But for the benefits of smashing your Q2 revenue target, position narrow and reach wide. Position narrow and reach wide. This is how we come to the end of today's live broadcast. Thank you everyone who's joined from LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Thank you everyone who is joined. Remember, if you want access to the 50% discount for the social media sellout formula, in 48 hours it will be open. It means that you two get to have access to the entire 9 modules framework on how to smash your Q2 revenue target. It will expose to you what you need to do if you don't like begging people to give you money. You know, when I say begging people, you know, all those teachings you will go to and they will tell you, keep following up, keep following up, keep convincing them. No, I know there are some people who do not like it. I don't like to keep convincing people, right? So there's a framework for people like us. And so if you're also that business owner who feel like I don't have a lot of followers, who's going to buy from me? There's an art and science to actually leveraging what you have to be able to make money from what you have. That's why you need a program like this. Also, if you feel like you have tried so many courses and you're not getting answers, you need the SMS formula, because the SMS formula is a bite-sized program. Bite-sized program in the sense that each model, each lesson is like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and it will give you the step by step. Do this, do this, do this. It's not Turinche, it's step by step in a way that when you are done taking each lesson in the social media seller formula program, you would have like a document on what you would do on a week on week basis that you'll see your results. That's how the social media seller formula course was created. So that those who have taken so many courses and are tired, they're exhausted from taking courses, this is where you go to and it's your final bus stop, literally. And then finally, for those who feel like algorithm is frustrating me, people are no longer seeing me, I can no longer make money, this program is for you, because you will beat the algorithm by just leveraging all the things that we teach in this program. Remember, again, some of the things that you will learn from this program is how to price your products right, how to create the kind of content that positions you as the go-to person in your industry. You also learn how to position your brand. I talked about it earlier a little bit. You also learn how to create, you know, compelling offers that will make people want to buy your product. And then, of course, this is not finally. You also learn how to build credibility and so many more that are models in the social media seller formula. You want to join right now, send me a DM if you're on Instagram, if you're on other platforms. You can also send me a message how you got to know about this broadcast, or send an email to ebayjust@gmail.com to say 50% discount on the SMS formula I want in. Just use that as a topic. Okay. And the email is ebayjust, IBEJUST @gmail.com. I'll take that again. IBEJUST@gmail.com. In 48 hours, you have access to the 50% discount so that you too can go and leverage this framework to smash your Q2 revenue target. I hope that this has been valuable for so many of us. If yes, feel free to share this with as many people as possible who need to be a part of this. Whether you're on LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube, feel free to share. And of course, Facebook. I'm going to see if there's one question to be taken. If not, we'll bring this session today to a close. And by the grace of God, until this time next week, we'll have another webinar series here on our pages. So yes, I'm going to take one question from any of the platforms. Feel free to please drop it, and then we'll take it. For everyone who's joined so far, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules to listen in on today's Instagram live session. For those of us on Instagram, for those of us on YouTube, for those of us on Facebook and LinkedIn, I appreciate you for joining us today. And from here on, we at the Just a Bit Company can only promise you one thing: consistent value. We will consistently give you value that would help you transform your numbers in your business. Okay, I think that so far I don't see any question. Thank you so much for dropping the email, ebayjust@gmail.com, for those who want to send an email to claim the 50% discount. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much. I truly, truly appreciate you joining us today on today's live broadcast. See you again this time next week by the grace of God. Until then, stay glued to our pages, both on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Stay glued. Just follow, turn on post notifications, because every day we keep giving you tip after tip on how to grow your numbers in your business. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.